Thank you very much. Our President and distinguished colleagues, Mr. Nominee, in this very chamber, at least today, 4 people who not too long ago were at your alma mater, Government College, Umaya. I was interested because my best friend during my undergraduate days, Austin Efosa Uwaifo, was also alumni of that school. But I was disappointed at how falling the structures of that school had become. And I know part of the reason for that might be because Government College Umaya used to belong to Eastern region that has now become 9 states, the 4 of the South-South and 5 of the Southeast. So maybe the alumni no longer care for their school. Looking at your CV and the kind of money that my distinguished colleague said you had made and others successful alumni had made, I want to ask you what people like you and Senator Sonny Obuji are doing to make sure that you make Umaya as good as it was when you were there. Question number 1. Question number 2, because you don't have to become a minister to actually serve your people. It can begin at that level. My second question has to be with the fact that in most recent times, I have been saddened when we have ministers who return to their states and constitute themselves into alternate power centers, making life difficult for their elected governors. I believe you are probably very sympathetic to my own party, but I don't want that kind of misfortune again to befall Nigeria, where a minister will go to the state and basically become a terrorist on the elected government of the state. I want to ask you, I don't want to make it partisan, really, because these are enduring principles that as Democrats, we must respect, especially in a federal setup like ours. So I want to ask you that if, by the grace of God, you are confirmed as minister, will you cooperate with the government of your state, even if that government is from a different party? Thank you.
Abubakar.
You are not oversight.
No. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, my name is Abubakar, representing Borno North, Borno State. Mr. Nominee, I want to take you back maybe 30 years ago when you were practicing medicine. And of course, looking at your wide horizon of knowledge, both in medical field and also that of the financial aspect. But mine is going to be, my question is going to strictly based on health areas. Today we find situations where and when accident victims get themselves to the hospitals probably on their own or maybe by some innocent bystanders. They are rejected simply because they lack maybe what they call police report or maybe an escort by the police. And sometimes it costs their lives. They will be sitting in the emergency room simply because they are required to present a police report. Not only accident victims, but also victims that are affected by maybe a violent attack, as in the case of what we have in the Northeast today. So I just want to ask a brief question. What is your take? What is your idea? What do you think that can be done to avert such huge loss of life? Because we keep losing citizens as a result of mere policies that do not make sense today. Thank you.
Gilbert Naji.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name still remains Senator Gilbert Naji, Enugu East. Mr. Nominee, as you can see that one of the greatest problems facing this country is power. What can you do Or how can you advise Mr. President in solving this problem of our sector in Nigeria? Then number 2 question that I have for you is, who are the present owners of Union Bank of Nigeria? And what happened to the shareholders and pensioners fund in that bank? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Senator Sam Anyang. I represent Imo East in Imo State. Mr. Nominee, just very few questions that require very straight answer. If you are cleared and confirmed by this Senate, as a financial expert, do you think when you have so many chartered accountants and so many chartered auditors, do you think in your wisdom that you subscribe the importation or invitation of foreign auditors to do a forensic auditing of the books of our parastatals in Nigeria? 1. 2, over the years, people have lost confidence in the Nigeria Stock Exchange. People have lost money. What will you do as a financial expert to revive the situation and rebuild the confidence of Nigerians in the Nigeria stock? Finally, I will ask, do you think that Nigeria is facing economic recession? If your answer is yes, how do we arrest this situation? And if your answer is no, what do we do to prevent such a situation? Thank you very much.
So, Rafi Ibrahim.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, Chairman, my distinguished colleague. I'm Rafi Ibrahim. I'm from Kwara South. Mr. Nominee, my question is your opinion on burning issues in the economy as an expert. I want you to tell this Alo Chamber your opinion on rebasing of an economy like ours, the pros and cons. Then number 2, what is the implication of the JP Morgan delisting of Nigeria? What do you think is happening to the economy now? What do we need to do going forward? Then I am aware that you should know the activities of the Financial Reporting Council. In the last administration, they were controversially used to remove the CBN governor. They've started their activities again. I know you are aware, with the issue of Stanbic IBTC. How do you advise this government to handle such an organization in Nigeria? Thank you very much.